Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch. Expunge. Verb. To get rid of something completely. Excise. To strike out. To obliterate. To destroy. Portentous. Adjective. Portentously. Portentousness. 1. Showing that something serious is going to happen. Prodigious. 2. Pompous. Pretentious. The effect on the lives of war casualties lasts a lifetime, and counseling will not expunge the memory. Some Michigan lawmakers want the law expanded to allow individuals to expunge more than one felony conviction. It was her chance to expunge that humiliating experience from her life. Still serving in strictly segregated units, they were sent to democratize the Germans and expunge all forms of racism. Your mind fights against itself as it attempts to expunge the pain and grief you carry inside. Would she scrub every inch of her kitchen floor, trying to expunge all traces of shock and pain she was left with? An app called Eraser can expunge temporary files as well as those you have moved to the recycle bin, and can also erase an entire drive. In June 2000, the State Department announced its decision to expunge the term rogue state from the U.S. foreign policy lexicon in favor of the more diplomatic-sounding states of concern. He shivered at the sudden drop of temperature. She cast a nervous look at me, guessing the abrupt change was portentous. The opening credits were written in a portentous font with a torn scroll in the background. Depending on how you look at it, this is either a thrilling way to lend a patina of seriousness to the valid but underrated stuff of women's daily lives, or a way of being portentous about trifles without having to cop to it. Maybe it's intended to be portentous, but it's mostly pretentious and dull, an apt description of this series so far. Now a bowl had been transformed into a fearsome, portentous object that held the most powerful and ominous contents imaginable. His intention isn't to suppress or outmaneuver the shocks of experience for the sake of primal purity or a portentous, knowing tone, but to make the poem a place where these shocks can occur. The challenge of this particular production of this politically portentous story is its stolid, stand-and-deliver, ponderously pontificating tone. Another problem, portentous but seldom discussed, is the shrinking pool of young adults, a population critical to improving productivity because it tends to embody the newest cutting-edge training. A doctor shrugged his shoulders portentously, sighed and said, "All we can give you is the facts. Rational explanations? Alas, there are none." By making the sentence its own paragraph, the author increases its portentousness, suggesting that this meeting will be fateful and may result not only in one or more broken hearts, but in tragedy.